Welcome back to Walsall Fan TV, the joy and the pain. We've been looking at the teams welcoming back to League Two. Well, not welcoming back, but welcoming after 132 years. Bromley have made it into the Football League, so we welcome them to League Two. We've got Lloyd here. He's a Bromley fan. How you doing, Lloyd?
Yeah, not bad, thank you.
Quite a journey for Bromley.
It is, yeah. I mean, it's there's books and stuff been written, and they've made a film and stuff. I mean, I've been going for about 35 years with friends, and we certainly haven't seen the likes of this before. We've been we've been to different grounds and different places. So I suppose from our perspective, it's always been strange, even getting in the National League and stuff like that, and going to different grounds and seeing clubs who've made a journey in a different direction, perhaps to us. So we're very aware, very conscious that we are. This is the top. This is the highest we've ever been, or we could have ever aspired to. Really, lots of us seen hard times. So I think sometimes when we talk to other fans and stuff, they have a different perspective of maybe coming down. Like the Wrexhams and that, when they got in the National League, York, teams like that, and their fans, it's a different perspective for them being at the lowest ebb, whereas we're at the highest. So,
and Bromley have been knocking at the door for a while, haven't they? The 2021 season finished 7th, going to the quarter-final of the playoffs. Following year, 7th again, got to the semi-final.
Mm-hmm.
And then a gap of a year, and then last season, of course, got winning in the playoff final to go into the EFL. So
halcyon days. I mean, I've been to Wembley three times in the last 6 years. Going to Wembley the first time that happened was just mind blowing. So there's been lots of slightly incremental things that have been mind blowing at different levels. Being first time, I think we played at Grimsby and Tranmere. We were like, well, what's going on here? Being able to play at Wembley and then play at Wembley and win, beat Wrexham in the trophy final, and then last year was football fans know what penalties are like and what seasons come down to, and you can only hope that someone's looking down on you that day, because I suppose
against the likes of Wrexham, that's a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah, and again, their story's different. They have a different journey, and films are being made, and the underdog narrative, and without sort of bigging it up, I like to think that to a degree, Bromley's more of a reflective picture of the little guys. The guys who've actually come from nowhere with, made the best of what they've got. The chairman certainly in the last few years has done that, and it's just mind blowing. Every day. I mean, for about 4 weeks after the final, I'd wake up and my wife would look at me. I'd go, "We're in the Football League." She just every morning I'd be like, "Do you know what? Bromley are still in the Football League today." So it's never going to get old. Never going to get old.
I should think not. It is a great rise, because you're not particularly well backed, are you? It's not like you've got sort of a millionaire guy who's pumping money in.
He's the guy, the chairman. He's not short of a few bob. But what he did when he came along is he wanted to. The money he's invested in the infrastructure of the club, and importantly, the academy. The other thing he's done, he's brought lots of community use to the stadium and to the facility. So when we had the 4G, 3G pitch, it was used all the time. As a part of that as well, they built a load of additional facilities and other all-weather surfaces on other ground behind. So there's a lot of things that you don't see when you look at the stadium itself, but the part of the progress was knocking down the old stand behind the goal, which is fondly remembered. Wooden benches, old school, been there since the 1930s. And this big new stand was put in, but inside it, there's stuff that's in it: gyms, meeting rooms, canteens, academy classrooms. So his idea has always been to not throw excess money at the team to solely get in players to achieve something on the pitch, but much more as a to make the club sustainable.
Building the infrastructure, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and the infrastructure, both physically and also looking at, we've got women's teams, ladies teams, walking football. We have different groups meet down at the ground. In the winter, we often have Millwall, Palace, Charlton, or whatever when the weather's bad. They come down and use the facilities. This year, we've got the new hybrid pitch that they've had to put in.
Yeah.
Which has been at a cost, but they've actually kept the old artificial surface. They've moved it onto another part. So, yeah. So whilst it would be unfair to say that he's got no money, his vision has always been about putting the money in to the club to make the club pay for itself.
Yeah, make it self-sustaining. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's all too easy. We all see it. You throw money at a team, National League especially. And National League South. It's one up automatically and one from the playoffs. So unless you have an absolutely stellar season, when Wrexham and Notts County came up, the two of them were just at each other's throats for the whole year. They were so far above the rest of the teams in it, but ultimately one of them still had to go through the playoffs to get in, and Notts County nearly blew it in the semi. So it's so there's so little margin for error, and especially if you're talking about investing big money in a very short-term thing. So that's been his way of doing it, and this season our recruitment has been very under the radar a little. We don't, the budget is of a level which they work within. It's good really, because you've always got that kind of someone's looking after the club on a longer term basis. The worst thing would be to come up like now, get thrashed, go down, and then drop through 2 or 3 leagues, because it can happen. It can happen to big clubs. York did it, Scunthorpe had done it, dropped that through to National League North.
I think
it's a real struggle.
The National League, there's a lot of money being spent in the National League. Bromley have done well to rise to the top there, haven't they, and sort of get through. What's the playing identity of Bromley? I haven't seen them play, to be honest.
There's one word for using it that ends in house. They're a little we tend to set up quite. We try and have a strong setup. We're not overly flashy, or we're not necessarily the most pretty on the eye. It's probably a nice thing to say. We are very good at grinding results out. We're very good at, when we have our moments in a game, taking them, using them, riding our luck a bit sometimes. We've got experience. We have a mix of very experienced players and young players. And young players has been the thing that Andy Woodman, the manager, has really sort of brought in. Kids from the academy have been in. A couple have progressed. So we've had Kellen Fisher went to Norwich City. Ben Krause has just in the summer gone to Brentford. So we don't. He's not shy of bringing them in. His view is, if they're good enough, they're old enough.
That's good.
And that's kind of reflected in the loans as well, because he's done really well in the loan market. So we get a lot of youngsters from Millwall, a lot from Millwall actually, a couple from Palace.
Charlton. Cam Grant's joined you from Millwall, hasn't
he? Yeah. He's coming. He's back. He's back for the I think maybe only till January. We had Deji Eloueri from Charlton, who we had for quite a while. He went back when we bought him towards the end of last season, so he's come in. We had Idris Odeteu, who came from Millwall. They're all strong. Bez Topolov, he came from Millwall after a successful loan period. They're all strong, physical lads. They're up for it. They're physically up for it, and they want to play football. So he's managed to meld that together. We've got Michael Cheek, our striker. He's the non-league GOAT, I think is what they call him. But every season he's 15 goals plus. He's every year consistent, and this is his first shot at the Football League.
I bet you're really excited about Marcus Dinanga. 39 goals in 63 games for them. That's whatever
Yeah.
level you're playing at. That's a superb return.
He knows where the goal is. Yeah, we see him obviously a few times. We see him last year, and he played for Gateshead. So yeah, he's him in pre-season. Him, Cheeky, and we had the other guy we got last December, I think it was, from Maidstone. Levi Amanchi. He'd scored loads of goals for Maidstone. He came to us. I think he had an injury, an outstanding injury, and so he didn't really. We haven't really got to see him. But he looks fit now mid pre-season. He's been scoring loads of goals pre-season. He's a bit different to what we've regularly had up front. So we've relied a lot upon Michael Cheek, and why wouldn't you? Because he does score goals. Yeah, to have those guys in, Levi especially is a taller, more muscular guy. Marcus is sort of quicker. Michael Cheek, if the ball's in the box, he'll pounce on it. So it's nice to have some forward options. And so they're all unproven at the level we're going to be at, but they're young. They know where the goal is. I mean, the goal's the goal wherever you're at. It's the same size pitch, same size goal. So if you've got that instinct, hopefully, we can get the ball in the areas where they can do some damage.
Yeah. You say, as far as the team's concerned, quite a lot of solidity, very good defensively. You like to counter-attack teams, or is it sort of aerial bombardment, or what would we like to see?
Yeah, we try and play strong. We usually play 3 centre backs. We have wing backs. We just got a guy from Palace on a year's loan who I'm quite excited about, Danny Imre. I don't think he's featured in any of the pre-season games to date, but he certainly fits the sort of the DNA that the manager looks for. He's quick, skillful. He scored. I think he scored about 10 goals from right back for Palace and under 21s over the season. So yeah, he's definitely the sort of guy that fits what we look to do. So yeah, it'd be interesting. Where we've probably been a little short over the years is in the centre of the park. We have signed Lewis Lee from Preston. He was on loan at Crewe.
He's come back to you, hasn't he?
He was on loan. He was really good. His set piece delivery is really good as well. So I'm looking forward to his corners because they're usually spot on. We got Omar Shomi back from Sutton, massive centre back. I'd love to see Lee's corners and Omar's head happen a few times this season. Because if you've got that in your armoury, goals will go however you score it. So it would be I think we'll be looking at things like that. We play a bit on the margins. We look for small gains sort of stuff. We're not too flashy. We've got we just signed a guy from Swansea on loan, Welsh under 21 international.
Cam Congreve.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Again, he's played a couple of games on trial. Shown as trialist because obviously he hadn't signed by then. But yeah, his move had been mooted for a little while. So he seems to fit more the Ben Crowhouse role, the guy who's left. So bit quicker, more direct. Catch up with a centre forwards, join in, maybe break the line sort of type guy. Looks very skillful. So again, young. He'll get his chance, It's what the manager does. So yeah, be exciting to see him on the pitch.
As far as the ground, I think holds about just over 5,000. I think. How many do you normally get for a home game?
It's been we've had for a long time. We've had like a very not yo-yo. We have a core base of fans who are Bromley fans. Then we have a transient kind of Palace, Millwall, Charlton. They're all within 10 miles. So, we had a cup game or a big game, or if we're doing well or it's a bank holiday, it could sometimes bump the crowd up like 600, 700, 800 with like floating fans who come along. But I think, the last few years they've become more as a, Bromley is a side that's a real team, if you like, rather than we're bumping around non-league. It's very easy, especially for the youngsters, to just look and go, oh, there's the league side. I'll go and watch them. And I think they've become a more sort of, not in a marketing sense, but more viable proposition, for
Yeah.
people to come and see them as a real team playing real games, and success obviously helps as well. So
Yeah.
we were kind of touching the end of last season. I think the last 10 home games they were looking at getting 30,000. So I think we've got a reasonably similar numbers of season tickets to last season. So probably
Yeah.
just over 2,200.
Yeah.
So I'd suspect, especially with the sort of the bigger games, because it's teams we haven't
Yeah.
played, it's more established league sides. Yeah, I think we'd probably be good at like 3,500 generally.
Yeah.
So the
Which
ground's got to catch up a little bit.
That's quite good considering you've got a lot of teams around you, haven't you? Obviously,
Yeah,
it's similar.
yeah.
It's similar for Walsall. We're sort of effectively right in the around us. We've got sort of West Bromwich Albion, the Wolves, Birmingham, Villa.
Yeah.
It's and Birmingham City, of course. So there's a lot of teams right close by.
I think we
Which
saw it when we when we played like Solihull, both in the league or whatever. You can see they have a sort of slightly similar thing of a smaller sort of core fan base, and then
yeah,
the floating fans will come along, or they'll split their time. Maybe if they're at home in different weeks, they'll go to home games, maybe Birmingham, maybe Solihull the following week if they don't clash. So, and
yeah,
it's sort of, I suppose it's the way you have to, you end up trying to build it. It'd be nice to think there'll be people there, especially the youngsters, who'll identify now as Bromley fans rather than having like in Twitter or
yeah.
Instagram, CPFC/BFC kind of thing. You
Yeah.
don't need Palace, mate. Bromley ain't just bad.
Hang your hat on them. That's it. Well, the
Yeah,
thing is, I think at the level we're at, a lot of the players are playing for the love of the game rather than just for the paycheck. Obviously, there are some that do that, but it's the passion for the football is more there than the prima donnas sort of thing.
yeah. I think I tried. That's something the chairman, the manager, has tried to instill about Bromley. They have the players on a match day at home, they move from their kind of pre-game meet up area, and then they go through the big sort of bar, which is the biggest meeting area before the game. They
Yeah,
actually have a walk through, so they kind of see and feel that connection with with supporters and whatever else. Then they go off and get changed, and lots of the things they do, lots of the community stuff, especially, is getting the young kids involved, and then by default you get the parents involved, and then you get that kind of continuity. And I like to think it works both ways. Especially Bromley away support is still quite small. We haven't really moved on. We don't have any club organised away support. So lots of us that have been going for years have always, even when it was like in the Isthmian League and whatever, we'd always only travel by public transport anyway, primarily because it's easier, but also there wasn't any other organised. So there's a couple of people have been organising some coaches again this year, which is getting more people involved. So, but yeah, away, certainly, you get to see the same faces, and the players see the same faces. They come and have a chat. So it's nice to, yes, it's still nice to keep some elements of it as you go up the leagues. Obviously gets diluted a little. You're not like in the bar buying them a pint, or whatever, or they're trying to nick a tenner off you like some guys used to do, like back in the 80s and 90s. But yeah, you'd like to think there is that identity, there is that shared identity, and they're not to over egg it like you're all in it together, but it does feel like sort of one kind of community,
yeah,
one kind of movement going forward. So hopefully we can retain that, and hopefully that'll be a positive, because when you have bad days, which you will undoubtedly have when you step up a level, no falling out, just stick together and get on to the next game, and know you're all there to support each other.
yeah.
That's hopefully.
First game away to Harrogate. That's quite a nice introduction for you, really. I think Harrogate aren't particularly fancied for
Yeah,
next season.
yeah. I think the last game before COVID really struck that we had in the league was, I think it was the season Harrogate went up. We played them at their ground. We haven't been playing very well at all. Yes, we went there. And I know that they've changed the ground a little. So yeah, I mean, it's still from a supporter's perspective, we're playing in the football league on tomorrow. You know, we're playing. You know, it's that part of it is hopefully the players don't see it like that. They see it as like it's a game. You know, they have to prepare properly. But I think as a supporter, there's still those kind of rose-tinted specs and just thinking like, you know, if we got battered 6-0, I ain't going to cry about it. I'm going to see all my mates I've been going for decades with, and it'll just be an amazing thing. And you know, we can at least take that. So. I don't want to get battered, by the way, but yeah, you know, it's
I'm sure you won't. I'm sure you won't. You've got a delight to come when you go to the likes of MK Dons, that stadium. That's like
yeah.
like
That is
Premier League stadium. That's very impressive. And obviously, Walsall is a decent sized stadium as well.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to all the grounds that I've not visited before. It's funny we look at like a lot of the, you know, like teams like Tranmere, Notts County, Harrogate, Grimsby. You know, we've played all them in the National League. So yeah, certainly looking forwards to. I mean, Barrow. Yeah, I went there a number of times because it's just one of them, and you know, must go, must tick off. So I'm looking forward to Carlisle, but it's all great. I mean, playing Gillingham in a league game is some sort of bonkers alternate world, you know.
They're sort of like local rivals for you, aren't they, Gillingham?
Yeah, them and our mates from Wimbledon. We probably won't. We don't see eye to eye with them.
That's quite often the case with local teams.
They had their history. They're obviously more recent history. We played them second game after they'd formed, and then we crossed paths quite a few times on their march up through non-league. A couple of tasty games in that. So, but I mean, when I look now, that's like 15 years ago, 16 years ago since we played them in the league. But it doesn't seem like that to me. It seems just like yesterday.
The older you get, the years go by, the quicker, don't they?
Yeah, I think I just now just distinguish them between the new away grounds I go to. That's what becomes more memorable.
Excellent. Lloyd, wish you well for the season. Where are you targeting to finish? Just staying up, or
as a long-standing supporter, I think when we joined the National League, all of us were just like just stay up. Just stay up. It would be a result. I probably, you know, realistically, probably lower mid half would be a decent shot. You know, 17th, 18th, something like that. You know, maybe a little higher. I'm sure that you're not going to set targets like that internally necessarily. You just got to see how it goes. But yeah, we're not greedy,
isn't it? Yeah.
We're not stupid. We know. You know, we have some limitations. I think, you know, we stick to what we know. We have a kind of a heartbeat, and the manager will say a DNA, but we play in a certain way. Players come in, they know what's expected, they know the score. Play with our hearts on our sleeves, and you know, we'll see where that takes us. Just staying up, talking to you maybe this time next year will be a result for me. So
that's it. Well, we'll get you on for the match previews. We'll and then sort of through the season, so that'll be good.
Yeah, lovely. Yeah,
excellent. Nice one, Lloyd.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Champion. Thanks for coming on. Good one, mate.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Take care. Ta-ra.
Cheers.